from unleashmydominatrix.com, and I help powerhouse women who have suffered from sexual trauma release shame, guilt, and fear that is still lingering in your life long after that. So, I have been a dominatrix, for those who don't know, for over a decade, who specialized in hypnosis, who has had a long time of helping people become one with themselves, embrace themselves, to allow themselves to live full, satisfying, pleasure filled, and playful lives. And I found myself called to help women, especially successful, strong, powerhouse, got it all together women, because I understand the struggles that come along with being successful, but still having these underlying effects and issues that can be caused by sexual trauma. And even though we might put it to the side, hide it from ourselves, try to move forward past it and just not bring it up, how it still plays a part in our lives. So I absolutely love being able to help women release all of the issues, right? Or at least release the different effects that are causing issues in your life. So today, I wanted to talk about 6 things that you should not do if you have been affected by sexual trauma. And absolutely being someone who has myself, who has healed, transcended, forgiven, who has really gone through different layers and layers on top of layers of healing, of just going deeper within myself, from releasing the emotional charge and ultimately moving forward to be very happy and have a very pleasure filled life. I want to just be able to share some things throughout this channel, throughout different events that we're doing, throughout, and to find out more about that, definitely go to unleashmydominatrix.com. I have some really incredible things coming down the line, including a retreat, Temple of the Untamed retreat happening right here in Tulum, Mexico. So I'm really excited to roll that out and to have just very, very limited in the amount of beautiful beings that are going to be able to come to this. But don't worry, you will have the details about that, and go to unleashmydominatrix.com to make sure that you are one of the first people who find out about that. And if there are any discounts available, the VIP, what's going to be included. It's going to be an amazing, transformative 5 days and 4 nights that you will never, ever, ever forget. We're going to start that on a full moon, into the waning moon, and just really see the effects of trauma really release from our minds, bodies, our spirits. So I'm so excited about that. And so for today, as I said, we're going to talk about those 6 things that I absolutely do not want you to do, especially as a powerhouse, successful, high achieving woman who has dealt with sexual trauma. So number 1 is, don't pretend you're okay when you're not. Okay, it's really easy, especially in this society, especially as a woman who has ultimately gone through so many things to get herself to a higher level in life, where it can feel like you're not allowed to be vulnerable, right? You're not allowed to share when something isn't going right, right? When you're not feeling well, when your spirit isn't aligned, right? There's tons of things that can happen that can make you just not feel okay. And we have been taught that we just need to push through, right? We just need to forget about feelings, right? Forget about what's going on internally with us, not recognizing that that is part of our navigation system that we were naturally given, our GPS, right? That helps to keep us aligned with the right path for ourselves. So, yes, there are times where there are things that you don't want to do, where, yeah, you may have to push through, making that a continuous habit, right, to always push through when you're not feeling well is not a self-loving thing to do, right? You're not taking that time to stop, check in with yourself, and be present with yourself, right? It's a part of this disconnection with our being that we have been taught to perpetuate. So I want you to take more time that when you are not okay, to speak that, right? To use your voice, right? To take the time that you need instead of pretending and just pushing forward, okay? Because you've done enough of that, and that is not getting you the results that you desire, because ultimately it's you telling yourself that you are not important enough to check in with, right? To make sure that you're okay. So I just want to put this, give me just a moment. We have lost our charge here, so if you give me just a moment, so I can put this back. Ah. Of course, this is live. So hey, sometimes, you know, things got to get done in a live capacity. So it's hanging out there anyway. So, so okay, great. We're all charged in. All is well. So number two is don't isolate yourself in shame. Being, what some would call, and we have these titles, right? That I'm an introvert, you know, um, and ultimately we are in a society where when we have issues, right, first of all, it's hard to be vulnerable, right? You don't know who you can be vulnerable with. You may not have people around you that you can be vulnerable with. So it's very easy to isolate yourself. What I want you to do is to find a way to get in community, right? There's Facebook groups, there are, meetup groups, there are probably different things happening in your city or your states. Find a community of people, and especially as a woman, of other women, right, who are empowering, who are loving, who are non-judgmental. I have a community that I can definitely suggest for you. If you just don't have anyone and you feel isolated and you feel like no one understands, and you just don't have that safe space to be vulnerable, you absolutely deserve that. And the last thing that I want you to do is to isolate yourself in shame. I'm sure you have probably already done that long enough, right? You know what that's like. So how about now, right? We move into more of a self-loving place and just take ourselves out of this energy of feeling like we have to do it all alone. We are on this planet with billions of other beings. So we were never ever meant to do any of this alone. And your vulnerability ends up being part of your strength. So I absolutely want you to find a way to stop the isolation and allow yourself to be vulnerable. I would love to definitely talk to you about having you come out on the retreat that's going to take place, because this is going to be such a sacred sanctuary for you to be able to be vulnerable and release and to be loved on and empowered and to, really be in the fullness of who you are without feeling like there's any judgment, right? Knowing that all that is there for you is support for you. So please find that for yourself. And if this sounds like something you're interested in being in and being a part of, definitely go and sign up to get information on unleashmydominatrix.com. So number 3 is don't dive straight into work as a distraction, okay? As a recovering workaholic, okay, since 13 years old, it can be very easy and probably part of why I was working at such a young age to distract me, right? To take my mind another place, right? And to also give myself a feeling of responsibility and control, right, as well. But it was also to keep me distracted, to keep my mind busy, right? So I didn't have to deal with the negative feelings that I had, with the different things that were playing up in my subconscious, right? In my heart space, where the pain that I felt, right? The loneliness I might have felt, the self-worth issues that I was going through, right? Work was just an easy way to stay distracted from that. And when you are a powerhouse, successful, high achieving woman, it is the easiest thing to do is to get caught up in some distractions. Okay? But that is what I want you to get present to and notice. If there is something going on with you, how often do you actually take some time to check in with yourself, right? To get present into how you're feeling, how you're doing, versus jumping into work or getting something done for someone else, volunteering for something for someone else, being present and standing up for someone else when it's really a time where you need to be putting into you, right? So take stock of that. So 4, don't neglect your body and pleasure. Super easy to do, especially when you have gone through a trauma, right? When you have gone through a violation, it almost feels like you don't deserve pleasure, right? Like pleasure is, of course, you're already taught it's a dirty thing, right? In most cultures, but now it's something where there's a violation connected to it. It is so easy to feel like pleasure is just something that you shouldn't even be involved in when it's such a beautiful thing. I mean, it is how, just the sex itself is how we all got here, but pleasure is so much bigger than that, right? Just having pleasure, being connected with your body, loving on yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror, giving love to yourself, appreciating all the parts of you, the uniqueness that you are, dancing sensually, moving yourself, giving yourself gratitude in so many different ways. This love for this vehicle that you have brought to this earth to have this life, and it deserves your love and your appreciation. And trust, the love and appreciation and the pleasure, being able to have even more pleasure in this space, what do you think that will do for your life? I mean, just think about it. More pleasure, right? In your life, more connection to your body, more in the space of being appreciative and in gratitude of the beautiful, incredible, miraculous, right? This is a miracle. You are a walking miracle, right? Of course you deserve pleasure. Of course you deserve love. Of course you deserve worship. Of course you deserve to feel the wholeness and the beauty and the joy of being in this. So please allow yourself to have that. Okay, number 5, don't let guilt tell you that trauma is your fault. And I want to say that again. Excuse me. Don't let guilt tell you that trauma is your fault. This was never your burden to carry. Never. What someone else did to you does not reflect on who you are, especially when you were in a place where you were in your innocence, right? Where you were learning about this world, where you were in a place where you were meant to be looked after, right? Watched over, protected, cared for, right? Someone else violating that was never meant to be your burden. now that has transformed into shame, fear, guilt, you know, pity, you know, self-worth issues, not being loving to yourself, being overly judgmental, being overly critical, right? All of these things is allowing this to continue to fester, and what was in the past is fresh in the present, right? So that needs to be released. So, and we're going to absolutely do that. We're going to absolutely help you recognize how this is not your fault, how to release it, and how to transcend and come out, right, with all of the lessons, right, that you needed to learn without the negative, harmful emotions that can stop you from living in the full greatness of who you are and who you were brought to this earth to be. Okay, so the last one is number 6, is don't force yourself to handle it alone. Similar to not isolating yourself in shame and guilt. Again, you were never meant to handle this alone, right? Now, you are a powerhouse. You got it, right? No matter what is, you can answer, solve any problem, and a lot of times you do, right? For others, you deserve care and support also, right? You deserve a place where you can feel safe and loved on and cared for and heard and seen and recognized and empowered. You absolutely deserve that. Now, of course, you want to give this to yourself, right? But also, you have other people who you are creating in your life and in your experience now. That's why I am before you, because you are looking for answers, right? You're looking for a change. You're looking for a different life. You're looking to feel different. You're looking to release these things that are draining you, that are taking away the power that is in you as the powerhouse that everyone sees you are, that you don't feel that you are. So allow yourself to be cared for, to be supported. And as I said, I would love to see you on our next retreat in Tulum. Now, this will be 3/3 on 2026, so there'll be plenty of time for you to, whether you need to make payment arrangements, whether you can handle that in person and, excuse me, or in full. There will be other opportunities and other ways that we'll be doing work up into that retreat. But we absolutely want to get you the support, the community, the love, and all that it is that you are seeking, right? Whether you feel like you have lost it or not, back in the recognition of knowing the absolute power that you are, that lives and breathes through you. You will always be that. And no trauma could ever take that away from you. So with love, I'm going to sign out now. And I look forward to speaking with you. Definitely go to unleashmydominatrix.com. Get on the list. Book a call with me, a 15-minute call, so we can get you qualified and see if this is a match for you and the best retreat for you to help you get to the next level of your greatness where you deserve to be, my love. So I look forward to hearing from you and speaking with you soon. So peace and love for now.